Shenzhou-12, China launches first astronauts to new space station. Spacecraft lifted off about 1:22 GMT on Thursday from northwest China, further boosting the country's space program to rival the US. China has successfully launched the Shenzhou-12, its first manned mission in 5 years, further accelerating its space program to rival the United States. Shenzhou-12, meaning divine vessel, lifted off at about 1:22 GMT on Thursday from the Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center in northwest China, according to the live video broadcast on state television, CCTV. The launch was carried with a Long March 2F carrier rocket. The spacecraft carried 3 male astronauts, Ni Haisheng, Liu Boming, and Tang Hongbo. In the CCTV live video, 2 of the 3 astronauts made an OK hand gesture as Shenzhou crossed the Earth's atmosphere and following the critical separation of the 4 boosters. Chinese astronauts Tang Hongbo, Ni Haisheng and Liu Boming speak before the launch of the Long March 2 FY-12 rocket, carrying the Shenzhou-12 spacecraft and the 3 astronauts on Thursday. Carlos Garcia Rollins/Reuters, the flight was perfectly smooth. Chen Changguang, deputy director of China's manned space program, was quoted by news reports as saying, "This is the first step. There are many challenges ahead." After entering orbit, the spaceship will conduct a fast automated rendezvous and docking with the in-orbit space station core module Tianhe, according to CCTV. The astronauts will be stationed in the core module and remain in orbit for 3 months. Major space power by 2030. State-owned Global Times publication quoted Gao Shu, deputy director designer of the Shenzhou-12, as saying that the development of the manned spacecraft followed the highest standards in the country's space industry. The Shenzhou-12 is made up of 3 sections, an orbiter module, a return module and a propelling module, and has 14 subsystems on board. In the Global Times interview, Gao referred to the spacecraft as a vessel of life, as it will not only ferry the 3 astronauts to the orbiting Tianhe core module, but is also expected to carry them home to Earth in approximately 90 days. In an interview with Al Jazeera, John D. Horner, a space expert from Australia's University of Southern Queensland, said that the advances being made by China's program is incredible. "I think China has, in the last 12 months, really put itself front and center in space exploration," he said, noting how Beijing is successful in its first attempt to send a manned aircraft to space, while noting that the country has also sent its first mission in Mars in recent weeks. China began construction of the space station this year with the launch of Tianhe, the first and largest of the station's 3 modules, in late April. Ni, who comes from central Hubei province and is a former Air Force pilot, is the lead of the mission. The Shenzhou-12 is Ni's 3rd space outing, after the Shenzhou-6 mission in 2005 and the Shenzhou-10 mission in 2013, according to the Xinhua news agency. It is Liu's 2nd mission to space, his first being the Shenzhou-7 mission in 2008, which featured a landmark spacewalk. It is Tang's first journey into space. China's last crewed flight mission was in 2016 when 2 men, Chen Dong and Jing Haipeng, were sent via the Shenzhou-11 spacecraft to Tiangong-2, a prototype of the space station where they later stayed for about a month. Beijing's aim is for the country to become a major spacefaring power by 2030, turning space into the newest frontier of its rivalry with the United States. In May, China became the 2nd country to put a rover on Mars, 2 years after landing the first spacecraft on the far side of the Moon.